What up, Laker Nation? It's your boy DTLF back with another post-game recap as the Lakers lose 112 to 106 to the Detroit Pistons. Man, it's just one of those games, guys, where I guess they just ended up having more legs than us in the fourth quarter. I thought that fourth quarter stretch with the bench was bad for us. Their bench outplayed our bench there in the fourth quarter, and that was the difference in the game, in my opinion. But defensively, we need a lot of improvement. Lots and lots of improvement, man. Yes, we did look tired. However, it's never an excuse. Had a couple of games off. I get it. We're undermanned. But we came out flat-footed. Let's be honest. The Lakers they came out flat-footed. And again, those three-point rotations and communication off of screens is just so bad. We got to improve that ASAP because next season we're going to need to be, tighten up the defense and make sure our communicating is on point and all that good stuff. Yeah, I thought offensively they played well. Brandon Ingram is still not back, so it's understandable. Like I said, we come out flat-footed. We look like we're tired. These last couple of games, they look tired in stretches, and we just go on these horrible, horrible drive spells. But we missed free throws, had some turnovers. Julius Randle had a good game offensively, but he did commit a couple of turnovers here and there that kind of changed the momentum of the game. I thought Lonzo Ball was exceptional tonight. This is exactly how I want Lonzo playing every night, not settling for threes and doing other things to help the team. With his 15 points, he almost had a triple-double again tonight. We just look tired, guys, to be honest. It's late in the season, and we had no legs tonight. You can see on the rotations, guys just camping down low, waiting for the rebound. The Pistons make the extra pass. Next thing you know, they're hitting wide open shots. Tolliver killed us tonight. Reggie Bullock, those are knockdown shooters. We got to make sure we stay attached to those guys. But again, over-helping, miscommunicating, making the wrong reads, not making the proper switches. Tough, man. Tough. KCP tried to have a good game. He started off well, finished off a little bit rough, but all in all, guys, offensively, it wasn't the problem. Tonight was defense. I mean, Kyle Kuzma had another 20 and 11-point game, 20 points, 11 rebounds. Julius Randle, 23, 11 rebounds. Again, those two have been a tandem starting together. They've been killing it. Brook Lopez was okay. I would have liked him to be inside a little bit more, but he did have a career-high 9 assists, Normally, I don't talk about stats, but I'm just telling you guys that offensively, we were fine. Lonzo Ball, 5 points, 8 rebounds, 11 assists, always flirting with them triple-doubles. But, the bench production was not good. Tyler Ennis had a horrible stretch in the fourth quarter. Zubats played okay. Channing Frye gave us some decent minutes, but, again, not enough bench production, man, to pull out a game like this on the road. Tough loss, but just adding another one to the collection, man. It is what it is at this point. We got to pretty much accept the fact that we're undermanned, and I guess, guys just didn't show up defensively. Dan, why did Luke tell them to foul Drummond? I don't know. Again, I'm not going to question that. You already know how I feel about Luke Walton. Most of you guys feel the same way. But I did like the one positive of this game was that Lonzo looked very good. He was making the proper reads. He was cutting to the rim. He was hitting those mid-range jump shots. Even hit his I think it was his only 3 or he went 1 of 2. I don't know. But, yeah, tough game, guys. Just take it in stride. 9 games left in the season. At this point, I don't even know if they should or if they will bring back Ingram. I mean, the way they've been, setting back the date over and over. So that's tough. Drummond killed us on the boards as expected. I thought the officiating was pretty bad tonight. Julius can never get a call, man. Even when they run him over, anything he does is offensive foul. But as soon as they run him over, nothing, no call, just play on. So again, the officiating has been inconsistent. Yeah, I can't believe we've been losing them too much, man. Honestly, I know we're undermanned, but we have the talent to close these games out. And again, poor decision making, down the stretch, and again, we didn't catch the breaks we needed. Tough, man. We didn't have the energy, smaller rotations. Again, no Thomas Bryant played. They did throw in Gary Payton, but only for like a couple of minutes. A lot of people are already turning on Luke. I see you guys, man. I was right there with you guys earlier in the season, but at this point, I'm just open-minded to whatever. Whatever happens, this season's pretty much over. But again, we got to look at the positives from this point on. I'm not going to be negative on losses anymore since we didn't make the playoffs. Of course, it'd be great if we rack up as many as we can. But at the end of the day, the season's over. All that matters now is, making sure that Lonzo, Kuzma, Randle, all these guys get their reps in and continue to get that in-game experience, and keep building the chemistry. Luke is driving you insane. I feel you, bro. I was right there with you, especially earlier in the season. At this point, I'm already I already became emotionally just stable on the whole Luke situation. He is who he is, in my opinion, and it is what it is, man. Looks like we might get 35 wins. Nah, I think more around 37, 38, but, a lot hinges on if Brandon Ingram returns. Same thing with Josh Hart. If we aren't planning on winning games, then what's the point of calling up Thomas Bryant? He only plays garbage time. I don't know, man. I don't know. Honestly, I wish I could explain the coaching staff's logic on that, but Luke is a rook. Sorry, tongue twister. Rook is a rookie coach. Luke is a rookie coach. Lower your expectations. He's good for his coaching age. I mean, if that's good enough for you, it's good enough for you, man. It ain't good enough for me. But my standards are a bit higher from a coach and a coaching staff. Not just the coach. We got to take into account that the coaching staff is always in his ear, and, they all equally take blame. Our young core played good today, Dan. Yeah, and at this point, that's all that matters. That's why I'm not too upset. We lost this game. Of course, Detroit is more desperate for a win. They have more depth right now. We're plagued with injuries. So I guess I kind of figured once that bench played for an extended period in the fourth quarter that we were going to lose. They made their little run, and we could never catch up after that. But again, proud of Lonzo. He played well. Kuzma played okay. Casey played all right. I like Julius's bully ball when he was just beasting the side. But again, he needs to limit those turnovers. Sometimes he over dribbles. There was a play where he was coming down the lane. He had like three teammates. One on the wing, Kuzma for the three. It was Lonzo out on the other side of the wing, and one under the basket. He ends up running the guy over. Matter of fact, he just lost the handle, and they just go the other way, hit a three. Those are momentum-changing plays. We got to limit those. I'm going to start expecting a lot more from Julius Randle as far as ball handling. If he is going to handle the ball, he needs to make the right decisions. If not, he can't. If I was coaching staff, I'd make him lose those privileges. Like, get the rebound, give it to the guard, So it is what it is. Dan, do you think the Lakers are tanking this season? Jokes. You got jokes. There's no point of tanking, man. We don't have our own draft pick. You know that. Delta, come on, bro. That's the problem with Julius. He needs to learn how to pass. Yeah, I mean, he does a good job sometimes, but again, sometimes he's still getting tunnel vision. I give him credit, though, because he's been beasting down low. One thing I noticed when he does his drop step, he always comes back to his left hand. This summer, I would like to see him work on that right hand once he does the drop step, Don't mind if I do, guys. My girl brought me Waba Grill, and I don't want it to get cold, so I'm going to start feasting on this here. Brooke and KCP are garbage. Well, I thought Brook Lopez was good at rim protecting tonight. What do you have, like 4 blocks or something like that? But, other than that, sometimes Brook Lopez, what he does is he settles too much for threes. He's so skilled down in the paint. It reminds me a little bit of Gasol with the soft touch. But at the end of the day, he settles way too much for threes. And I understand the league is changing, but it still drives me crazy, guys. I grew up watching basketball in the 90s where you take the higher percentage bucket. He had 5 blocks? Okay, thanks. Where you take the highest percentage bucket. And tonight, Lonzo Ball played in that manner, Yeah, Waba Grill is bomb. Look, we got the half meat, half chicken. So that's what's up. But yeah, man, I want Lonzo to play like this. Just like this. He played smart. He didn't settle at all. He took what the defense gave him, and he took advantage of everything. So, all in all, it was a great game for him. Super hype, man, for his future. Again, I think people have been too harsh on him, calling him a bust. He's a walking triple-double, in the making. And just look at his numbers. Compare him to the Hall of Famer that is Jason Kidd. Jason Kidd is special. If we got a Hall of Famer in this draft, how can you complain about that? I agree 100%, Kevin King. Josh Hart, to me, is the KCP replacement if we don't bring KCP back. Josh Hart is a much better offensive player, and I feel like he's a better on-ball defender, as well as playing the passing lane. So, Markelle Fultz is a bust, while Lonzo's going to be a star in the league. Well, it's a little way too early to call anybody a bust, man. Tonight, he made his debut. He came back, or I'm not sure if he had played in the league before, but he made his debut, I think, tonight. And he looked nice based on the highlights. I didn't see any jump shooting highlights, but he was attacking the rim, playmaking. So you just never know, man. You really can't. You really just can't predict somebody to be a bust till they get to like their third or fourth year. That's when you start seeing their true potential. But he played 4 games. See, I wasn't aware. I wasn't paying attention. Dan, the critical time in the game was when Luke subbed Lonzo and left him out for so long. What do you say? Yeah, I mean, I'm not even going to highlight Luke's mistakes. I think you guys see him. I don't want to sound like a complaining person. Every time I mention something about Luke, I get a Luke stan coming out and just trying to insult me and talking about how I'm an idiot because I always talk about Luke. But at the same time, it's like, I'm not just talking about Luke. The fans are. So I'm just echoing sentiments for the most part. But I agree with them. I mean, to me, Luke, if I had to grade him at this point, the job he has done with the Lakers, he'd be lucky to get a C from me. I think I'd give him a D+ at this point, honestly. Dan, what did you think about Lonzo's mid-range game today? I like it. If he could develop that consistently, I would absolutely love his game because he's going to get that off of high screen and rolls. He's going to come in and he's going to have to force the defense to either commit to him or give him that jumper, and he's going to have to make him pay. Right now, defenses have no confidence in his jumper because he's been struggling. So he's going to get that 9 times out of 10. If he can knock that down consistently, he's going to be really, really good. Reggie Jackson always looks like he smoked. I'm not going to mention that. Who do you think will win? Who do you think will win it all this year? The generic answer would be the Golden State Warriors, but for the sake of just being different, and I'm gonna pick my dark horse, which is the Houston Rockets. I think Houston has what it takes, and I think they can go all the way. They have a good combination of solid defense, not good, solid enough, and great offense. So I think the Rockets can take it. Dan, is there any player you want to bring back next year? Good question, Mark. That depends a lot on who we sign in the offseason. If we can get max players, then maybe we go for some different role players because these guys are going to be a bit more expensive. But if we can't, then I don't mind bringing back Lopez on a cheap contract, 1-year deal. If we miss on free agency, just based off the way he's been playing lately. That'd be an option. I'd rather him than KCP because I feel like with KCP, we already have Josh Hart at that position. And again, if we sign max free agents, Josh Hart could fill in that KCP role even better than KCP has done, in my opinion. The one position we do need is a center. So even if he's a backup for 1 year, I'd take Brook Lopez again. But again, depending if we land max free agents or not. Will the Lakers look at the ball bros when they are eligible? I highly doubt it, Mike. The reason I doubt it is because they have already brought such negative propaganda with the whole Big Baller brand, with Lavar, all the negative attention. I doubt Magic and Rob will want to sign up for 2 more of that. I don't know. I'm not sure I want to have. I am not sure I want to have Lavar Ball at Staples Center, yelling at the coaches to play all 3 of his boys together the way he does on his show, Ball in the Family. Not to sound like a hater. I'm just saying straight up. Let's keep it real. Dan, how do you feel that the Sixers are making the playoffs? They had a similar record like us last year, and we're not making it. Well, they're in the East, first of all, so it's a night and day difference. We're in the West. The West is stacked. That's number one. Number two, they have two established young up-and-coming stars. We have one, potentially two, but I think we might end up with more at the end of the day. And three, Joel Embiid is a beast. He makes a huge difference for them down there in the paint. I'm a fan of his. I just don't like him when he talks smack about the Lakers. But other than that, you got to be a fan. And I can't wait to see what they do in the playoffs, especially getting Markelle Fultz back. And let's see, man. I'll be rooting for them in the East for sure. Dan, I'm tired of Luke. Feel you, bro. I feel you on that. I'm right there with you. Dan, you think Magic is pissed about Lavar trolling? I think so. I think low-key, like, it was unnecessary, unwanted attention to the young Lakers, and it got us off to kind of a bad start. But Lavar is a dictator over those kids. I agree. What up, Dan? I'm a Lakers for life, man. Huge Kobe fan. That's what's up, Dwayne. That's what's up, bro. I'm right there with you. The Lakers have beat the majority of those playoff teams in the East. Agreed, Kevin. You know what? Our season has exceeded a lot of people's expectations, I'll tell you. Straight up. Like, a lot of people didn't even peg us to get, to 30. So we already exceeded that. And we went through injuries. So I'm okay with that. Again, this summer is going to be huge for us. Huge. And I expect us to have a major splash, just like the Rams did. So I want the Lakers to make that kind of a splash and just be the talk of the town. I'd give the bros two-way deals. Again, at the cost of having Lavar yapping in our head coach's ear or in Magic Johnson's ear, and just flapping his gums all over the media, I doubt it, man. I don't mind checking them out as prospects, but if only their dad wasn't coming along as baggage, that's the biggest problem. Hey, Dan. Being a Laker fan is tough, but never give up on my team. That's right, Frank. Never. And you know what? It's not as tough because we've been spoiled for the years, so we can always remember that too. Whenever I start getting depressed about losses, I go on YouTube and I start looking up clips from the 2010 finals, last time we won it. So it's not too far off, so we can't be spoiled. There is a rebuilding process to every franchise, and we're just going through it. But we're probably in the final stages of that rebuild, and I think by next season we're going to be competing playoff spots. Lonzo haters quiet. That's funny, bro. Yeah, you know what? I think a lot of these Lonzo haters I think they want immediate results. They see somebody like Donovan Mitchell and they get desperate, and they want that for the Lakers, but everybody has a different timeline as far as development goes. Some guys come in primed and ready, but their ceiling is lower. And some guys come in needing 2 to 3 years, but their ceiling is higher. Okay? Like, perfect example. I've used this before. The Blake Griffin draft. Everybody thought for the first 2 years, Blake Griffin was the best player. Boy, were they wrong. Steph Curry ended up being one of the better players in that draft. And so, but Blake Griffin, the reason they thought that was because Blake Griffin came out firing on all cylinders, and Steph Curry, it took them trading Monte Ellis, took him like 2-3 years of developing for him to become that player. So I'm telling you guys, same thing in the Julius Randle draft. When he broke his leg, Aaron Gordon came out. He had a lot of promise. He still does. He has a lot of promise. Marcus Smart, everybody thought Marcus Smart was going to be better than Julius. But I always said it, Kentucky products are something you just can't pass on. Kentucky has such a great track record of bringing stars to the draft. So that's all I'm saying, man. Just be patient with the kids because you don't know what their timeline's looking like. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Some of us wanted Randle traded like last year because he was looking really sloppy. So that tells you that we got to be patient. What's up, DTLF? What's up, Mamba Max? How you doing, bro? Kenneth Nuno, Paul George is just not that good. Paul George is really good, and I think he's underrated because he's on the team with a person that needs the ball in their hands a lot, Russell Westbrook. I think his stats will jump by 5 points coming over here to play with Lonzo. What is he averaging right now? 18? Give him 5 more. He could easily average 23 over here with the Lakers if he comes to play here. Plus, he is the best defender in the NBA right now currently on the wing. He averages the most steals, and he's good on ball. with his length and athleticism, he can stay in front of anybody. I don't see how he's overrated. If anything, he's underrated. Yeah, he could average 25 points per game. Good point. But again, remember, we have plenty of young, up-and-coming stars that are going to have to eat too. So I give him like 22, 23. I'm happy. I appreciate that George wants to come to LA, but I'm not paying Paul George max money to not show up 90% of his games. LeBron and Cousins produced up to the standards every night. But see, you can't expect everybody to live up to LeBron's standards. It just doesn't happen. LeBron is a different kind of player. He's a, transcendent type player. So don't compare Paul George to LeBron. However, Paul George will still elevate us very similar in the way that Jimmy Butler elevated the Timberwolves, So just don't be so hard on Paul George, man. Trust me. He's going to be one of the fan favorites when he comes here. He'll be knocking down big shots. Have you ever seen Paul George in the playoffs? He took it to LeBron every time they faced off. So that tells you what kind of competitor he is, and he's somebody you can count on in the playoffs. That's one thing for sure, Hey, what up, Martin? What up, Frankie? He's not a closer. I don't know. He did pretty good in the playoffs for the Pacers over the years. So, he's pretty close to that. I think he could be our closer. And if LeBron comes, well, obviously he's going to be the one holding the ball in the end. But I'm just saying, man, Paul George, very underrated. He doesn't deserve any kind of hate just because he's not putting up the numbers. Again, a lot of fans look at numbers, but you got to look at what he does on the court besides the numbers. He's a playmaker, a good defender, a solid rebounder, somebody who can run in transition, knock down open shots consistently, a lot more consistent than KCP. So I would take 80% Boogie over 90% of the players. Thanks for the donation, bro. I appreciate it. And I agree with you, but will Boogie ever be 80% of himself? That's the question. That's a heavy set dude, but maybe around July they'll get a good feeling to how he's doing. I hope he does, man, because he's a fun dude to watch. I like these 90s, 80s style players like Julius and Boogie who get banged down low. Can you imagine having them both on the same team? Game over, man. PG is great in the playoffs. I just hope he doesn't bring his slow regular season starts to us because we need every win we can get in the West. He will help you, bro. He's not going to slow you down. Let me tell you something. You know how KCP is very, very streaky? Well, Paul George is a lot more consistent. Let's say if you can count on KCP 40% of the time, you can count on Paul George 75% of the time. So I'll take that. That's a huge upgrade over KCP. I'll take 75 over 40 any day. Any day. That's going to wrap it up for me, guys. I'm going to go ahead and finish this bowl. If I keep talking, I'm never going to be able to finish, man. So I'm going to finish that. Thank you guys for tuning in, man. Much love, Laker Nation. Tough loss, but we got to live with it, man. Keep pushing forward. Hopefully, I pray we get to see Brandon before the season again because they keep giving us false promises and telling us he's going to be back, the next game and the next game and the next game. However, he hasn't done it. He hasn't been able to. Love Laker Nation. Leave a comment, like, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys Wednesday for the pregame. Peace out, guys.